Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. This is the 8th room of Season 16. We're getting to the end of the season. We're probably hitting 10 rooms, I think.
I
Is that
can't
the
remember if it was
plan?
10 or 11.
I'm going to say it's probably 10 rooms.
We decided this. We made a
decided
firm
it,
decision.
and we forget it every single time. And then we look through our calendar and we count the weeks again and we say, oh, that makes sense. If it's more than 10, I'm a liar. But I'm just saying, maybe it's 10. Every episode, we play through an audio escape room. And usually we have guests play through the room. But occasionally, more and more every year, we have guest game masters come on and have Danny and me play through their room. So welcome to the show, Sarah Fellows. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I am very excited to be here.
We are excited to have you. If I ever had any context for what this room was, I have deliberately purged it from my memory. So it's going
I have
to be
a blank page.
It's going to be a fun surprise. We're very excited to play through it. All we know is it's maybe a little bit of like a nice, clean, simple room. It's not too big for its britches, this escape room. It knows what it wants to be, and it's gonna give us some puzzles, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, straightforward. You'll be done in 30 seconds. It's exactly, you know what you're doing. That's it. Done.
That's what we do every time.
This is where all the audience glances down to the length of time left on their player and says, what the hell do they do wrong? Whenever we have guests on the show, we always have the same two questions. This is an escape room podcast. So, Sarah, what is your escape room experience?
I love escape rooms, as you can probably guess by the fact that I'm here. I like puzzles. I haven't done lots of physical rooms, and that's purely because escape rooms are expensive.
Mm.
But I have done quite a lot of the sort of escape room at home type experiences, the boxes like Exit and Unlock, things like that. I've done quite a few of the kind of puzzle adjacent type things. I've played Box One, Morrison Game Factory, things like that.
Lovely.
And like in the pandemic, when a lot of the escape room places weren't open and they were doing kind of at home, print at home or online sort of things, we did quite a few of those as well because they were a nice way to stay connected with people that you weren't physically with, and do more puzzles. Because I do.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what life's about. All the at-home stuff is really nice. Like, in terms of feeling like escape rooms, we are sort of more like an at-home escape room than a real escape room most of the time.
I suppose that's true.
It's a fun element of the industry that I think works really nicely.
Oh, yeah. I love how much crossover into, I don't know, still being so puzzle-focused, but being able to weave its way into all these different venues. But,
I think it's quite nice as well to be able to do stuff if you're a little bit nervous about the idea of going into somebody else's space and solving puzzles there, like to be able to say, oh, well, I'm going to do it in my own house and I know nothing is going to jump out at me
100%.
I didn't put anything in the cupboard,
Yeah, this is what I was so happy seeing things like Felicia Day doing escape rooms, Janet Varney doing escape rooms just online so that I could see what they look like before going to do one.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah. I'm not like a super nervous person, but equally I'm not a big horror fan. And so I know like before I did my first real room, that was my big concern that somebody was going to, jump out from underneath I don't know.
We've done like one room where someone does jump out. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary. It's not fun.
I can't concentrate on solving puzzles if I'm terrified for my life.
Yeah, exactly. The other element of this show is, just like I was saying mere seconds ago, we're not quite an escape room. We've got a bit more of this at-home gamey element. These are escape rooms in a tabletop role-playing kind of style. Sarah, what is your tabletop role-playing experience?
So probably less than my puzzly experience. I have played a couple of D&D campaigns, one-shots really, like rather than long campaigns, because as anybody who's ever played anything like D&D knows, the two challenges are finding people who want to play with you and then getting them all together in a room.
Yes.
That never happens. Scheduling is the real villain of D&D, I think, not any creatures. So I've done a couple. I've done some of the sort of like adventure games, the kind of Broken Sword and that kind of thing, which I feel is the halfway house between being able to explore and play a character and not having to have anybody else there with you. You can make the same day in your diary.
A big theme of making sure there are no other people around when you do these things.
Which one?
That makes me sound awful, doesn't it?
I don't think I know Broken Sword.
Oh, it's brilliant. If you haven't played, there's 3-4 of them, I think. The original is a very 1980s Templar, Secrets of the Templars. He's an American who's in Paris and meets a French woman, and they solve this mystery where they go all over the world. It had a remaster recently, so it exists for the first game, exists again for like PC and various consoles as well.
Oh wow, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So if you like point and click adventure, then I could recommend Broken Sword.
Excellent. Oh wow, yeah. Billy just brought up a couple of the pictures on screen. Never played them. They hit some nostalgia anyway.
Yeah. It's exactly what you expect it to be.
Wonderful. Well, I think with all that said, I think we should jump in. Danny, are you ready to play a room with me?
I don't know what to do with this blank page.
You wait until something's described, and then you draw it.
Don't even have a title.
Now, Danny, you woke up from a nap not 5 minutes before we started.
No,
and I have a...
This wasn't a luxury nap. This was a feeling sick nap.
Yes, and I have I think there's some hay fevery stuff going around, because I also have a pretty bad sinusy headache.
Yep,
so
we're doing great.
We are in full 100% power to take on this room.
Yep.
And we'll solve it in the next 20 seconds. Sarah, would you like to
We're
going to
be so funny as well.
Oh, so funny. So good at puzzles. Take it away, Sarah.
It's a cold morning and you're running late. Your alarm didn't go off. You took 2 attempts to make your breakfast. The first round of toast was way too burnt to eat. And your shirt needed ironing before you could get dressed. Now you've stepped outside your house, locked up the front door behind you, and, to add to your horrible morning, the car is frozen over and needs defrosting. Sighing, you unlock the car and slide into the driver's seat. You slip the car key into the ignition and the engine shudders to life. You drop your bag on the passenger seat, turn up the internal heater, and grab the window scraper from the footwell. Hauling yourself back into the cold air, you begin scraping the tool back and forth across the front windscreen. The flaking ice coats your exposed fingers as you work, and you shudder from the cold as your hands slowly start to sting. You need to hurry up or you won't be able to hold the steering wheel to drive. Turning to begin on the driver's side doors, you brush against the open car door. Feeling a sudden rush of panic, you watch in dismay as the door clicks shut on the car. Your brain processes what has just happened. You're standing in the cold on your driveway, holding the ice scraper and looking at your car. The engine's still running. You need to open the door, but you can't because the car has helpfully locked itself. You've got a spare key in the house, but your house keys are in your bag in the car. And you could ring your partner to come and let you into the house, except you can't because your phone is in your bag too. And then you remember, there is a way to get back into the house. The spare key. Your partner was adamant about hiding a key somewhere in the back garden, just in case either of you ever locked yourself out and needed to get back in. Of course, because you're both security conscious, they assured you that they'd made sure it was properly hidden and protected. You just wished you'd paid better attention to where and how this key was hidden. So you're stood on your driveway outside your house. The car is next to you with the engine running. Your house is at the end of a long driveway set back from the road, so you can't see your neighbours' houses from here. In front of the house, there are some plant pots and a doormat to wipe your feet on. To the right of the house is an iron gate, which leads to the back garden. You can now explore.
All right.
Sorry, you say that, but I've got a lot of drawing to do.
I've got a garden. I got a house. I'm picturing, for anybody playing along at home, I'm picturing my aunt's house in Melbourne. So for all of you who know my aunt, which is none of you, you have a mental image for what I have in my head.
I have mirror imaged this entire front of house for some reason.
Oh yeah, I've done the gate on the right, but like from a bird's eye view where I'm in the front, not me facing the house. So I've put it, if I face the house, I put the gate on the left because I'm here at the front in my car, right? So I've done that wrong, I'm sure, but that's okay. What's your plan, Danny? Do you want to go straight to the back and achieve our goals, or do you want to wander around the front for a while?
I assume we probably can't, but it's probably worth checking out that side gate and seeing what it's like. Yeah. I also note that for us, this is a Look, I won't say a completely unidentifiable problem, but I did panic at the idea of having to scrape frost off a car windscreen. I
did think
no
that as I
idea what
said
I'm
it, I
doing.
thought, I wonder if this is something that actually
No.
happens.
I've never experienced this kind of cold car experience in my life. I've never scraped.
The worst
Ice
I've
up
had
a
to do
car.
is a couple of weeks ago getting out at roller skating at 9 p.m., getting into the car and going, oh man, the windscreen's all fogged up. I got to turn on the aircon and wait.
The bigger problem that we get where we live is that sometimes you get into the car and the salty sea air has created a kind of salty crust on your windscreen that you just need to wipe.
Yeah.
And then that's just water and windscreen wipers and you're done. That's our version, our beachy version.
Oh, well, you see, in the UK, frozen windscreens is something that happens from, I don't know, like September through
That
April.
sounds really annoying to deal with.
It is, yeah,
Cause-
especially when you're running late in the morning and you think, I've just got enough time to get out. And then you open the front door and go, oh, now it's going to take me 10 minutes to de-ice the car before I can leave.
I assume if you have a garage, it probably doesn't happen, or doesn't happen to that extent, right? That's got to be
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
If you can put your
free
car away. And
outside thing.
some people put like blankets and things over the front windscreen of their car so that when
Oh,
they
but
wake up in
they're
the morning-
just trying too
They just-
hard. You got to embrace the frost.
I've always thought if you do that, you're gonna like just have a frozen blanket. And what do you do with that in the morning?
There, you leave it there, and it maintains the shape of the car and deters robbers because they think you're home.
They think there's a car still there.
It's a
and
double security
Ah.
measure. They know what they're doing.
The
these
postman
blanket
can
folk.
put the parcels underneath it as if it's nice easy place
Exact-
to
You can hide your spare key under the fake car.
There we go. So problem solved.
If we were blanket people, we'd be at work by now.
Yeah.
Shall we check out the side gate?
Let's go to the
See
side
if it's
gate.
openable.
Okay, the gate is a big ornate black metal gate. It's locked,
Ooh.
of course. You don't want just anyone wandering into your back garden.
Mm.
There's a lock on the gate with a 4-digit number combination on it. You never unlock it from the front. You always use the quick release button that's in the back garden. But you know your partner would have known that and made sure to leave you a clue. And I do have a picture of the gate to send you as well.
Ooh, a picture of a
Lovely.
gate. For people at home, you can see this in the show notes, but let's have a look at
Oh
this
my
gate.
god, that is a fancy gate.
I've completely reassessed my image of this family. I thought this car was like a 2003 Nissan, but it's not. It's a
Bentley.
Bentley. We have. I don't know where's our usual guy that we hire to stand in our driveway and scrape the ice off our car. Look at this gate. This is the fanciest gate. Okay, we've got a gate. It is a wrought iron gate with flowers and
It's got
trellising. And
it's got a bunch of normal vertical
wimbles
bars,
and
but an
wombles.
awful lot of curvy, fancy floral stuff and some like full-on flowers.
We are looking for a 4-digit code. I'd like to point out a few facts, Danny.
Yeah.
These iron bars have little, they've got dots on them, but I think that's just normal iron bar
That looks
life.
Yeah,
They've got
this is what I will
little-
say about this gate. There might be something hidden in the design of this gate very easily. It's also the entire gate is sort of padlock shaped, which is fun.
Yeah.
But it looks very authentically fancy gate, so it's hard to spot what's going to be a clue
there
and
are
what's
roses.
gate.
There are 2 roses here. There are 2 roses here. There are 2 roses here. There is one roses. There are also
Lots of pairs of
lots of at the bottom. There's all these little spirals that go one way or the other,
Down, up, down.
and they're sort of similar to the spirals within the ornate metalwork on the gate. What do you?
I'm trying to zone out now to see if I just stop paying attention
Will
to
the
the
numbers
spirals.
just
Does
appear,
it look like
just
something?
reveal themselves to your eyes?
Yeah.
They could.
Oh
There's a-
no! The more I look at them, the more they're starting to look like weird fetuses. That didn't work at all.
No, you know what they look like?
Yeah.
You know the painting of Simba in The Lion King?
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Oh,
There's his
they are
face and
turning
his
into
little
little
tail.
Simbas. Okay, that
It's a little
helps.
Simba.
Thank
Okay,
you.
it's a gate for people playing along at home. This gate is covered in tiny Simbas, which means it's a solve this murder reference.
But I do not understand anything just from looking.
No, looking at it, I
this
don't
point.
see, I found the code.
Now-
Maybe somewhere else we'll find a piece of paper that says, every rose has its thorn and you should count my roses.
Exactly. We do know there are flower pots around.
There are flower pots. Flower pots have roses. Can we leave this gate in shame and disgust and head over to the flower pots?
So there are 4 plant pots sat outside your front door, 2 on either side of the door. The pots themselves are hand painted with designs of flowers, bees, and butterflies. Each pot is different. Inside the pots, some small green bushes are growing. You'd hoped when you bought them that they'd grow evenly so you could have a nice symmetrical display outside the front door, but it hasn't really worked out that way. Each plant is a different height.
So we have four different heights of plant.
I like 4 showing up.
I love 4. When I see 4, and I know I've got a 4-digit code, I'm feeling good. 4 different heights of plants, and each of the plants has a different design on them at the bottom. So, like, if the heights are going to order these plants, the pots themselves are going to give us, like, the number.
Yeah, that feels like what it would be.
So, can we
Let's
look
pay
at the
attention.
shortest...
Oh, okay.
You think the biggest plant?
I was going to say the biggest, but no, let's
No.
We'll
We'll look at the biggest
Let's go
plant.
for the second
We're going
biggest
for the biggest
plant.
Let's go for the second largest plant. The plant in either position 2 or 3.
Yes. The second largest plant, the pot has 8 flowers, 3 bees, and 3 butterflies on it.
I say, ignore the bees and the butterflies. The gate's covered in flowers. I think we think about flowers.
Nope. 8 flowers.
What? Okay.
I'm writing everything. 3 bees?
3 bees and 3 butterflies, yeah.
Thank you.
What about the tallest of these plants?
The tallest plant, that pot has 1 flower, 4 bees, and 5 butterflies.
What about the second shortest of these pots?
The second shortest has 5 flowers, 2 bees, and 6 butterflies on its pot.
And then the fourth one, the smallest?
The smallest one has 4 flowers, 3 bees, and 4 butterflies.
Okay. I say, based on the flowery nature of our gate, the code should be the number of flowers in that order. And it should be 1854.
Or 4581.
Well, let's think about if you have a 4-digit number, the leftmost digit is the biggest because it represents the thousands. So it should be the biggest plant.
Interesting.
So I would say it's 1854.
I'm just saying, in life, you want to be getting bigger, not smaller.
Yeah, but in life,
as time progresses,
you want your gates to remain locked. So going
that's a point.
backwards is what you don't want. So it should be biggest to smallest.
Well,
the level of security is going from biggest to smallest.
Let's bring up the picture of that gate again, shall we?
Oh, what? This is a waste of time. You're reveling in the fact that you've been told it's not that long a room and you can do stuff like this.
So what I'm seeing here is if we look at the size of the flowers that are on the gate, it kind of looks like the ones to the outside are a little smaller than some of the ones to the lower middle.
I'm closing the image. I'm going to the gate and I'm trying 1854 on the gate.
Okay, you set the combination of the gate lock to 1854 and nothing happens.
If it's
Interesting.
Let's try 4581.
You set the combination of the gate lock to 4581 and the lock clicks satisfyingly and the gate swings open.
Well, isn't that interesting?
I would like to say, at first I wanted it to be small first, which is why I went to the small pot. But then we changed positions at some point along the way. All right.
I was really tempted to just give you
Wait a
whichever version worked, but then I was like, no, I really enjoy the rivalry. So
I would like to point out that on Danny's friggin' page, you've done them. You've drawn them in the order 1854. You've done them left to right, 1854. You've done biggest to smallest on your page.
Now, let's be clear. I said I would draw these later. This was clearly a first draft.
This is terrible. Shall we go through?
Yeah, you're right. Forget the front door. Forget the car.
Who needs it? We don't need it. We're questing.
Our
We're
bag
questing
is
for our...
dying of carbon dioxide poisoning or something, but that's just a sacrifice we'll have to make.
But let's go. Into the backyard.
Okay, you're now in your back garden. Well, if you can't get into the house, at least you can relax here. Although the sound of the car's still running engine reminds you of all the money you're wasting on fuel, so perhaps now isn't the best time to stop for a rest.
Money is no object. Have you seen our gate?
Yes, just burn the fuel, it's fine. The back garden is your partner's pride and joy. They love spending time out here making the place look nice. You prefer spending time out here reading a good book or listening to the birds with a cup of tea. The garden is a modest size, big enough for a moderately sized lawn and a good-sized paved patio. Access back into the house would be through the French doors off that patio, but you don't have a key for that either. On the patio, there is a wooden bench and a collection of plants in pots. On the other side of the lawn, there is a greenhouse and a wooden shed. Down the right-hand side of the garden, as you stand with your back to the house, is a flower bed, filled in the summer months with petunias, begonias, and other brightly coloured flowers. It's mostly empty at the moment, though. A hose pipe runs from a tap on the back of the house across the patio, with the end abandoned on the lawn by the flower bed, probably left there ready to water the bulbs when they start growing again. On the left-hand side of the garden are a collection of bird feeders. You can explore your garden.
Okay, what would you like to look at, Danny?
I don't know. This is a lot of new things
We're
already.
looking for the key into our house.
Yeah.
What if it's not locked? We didn't check the doors to our house. What if we check the French door?
Oh, you want to see
just
how
open
silly
the
we
door.
are? I think we were told that they were generally locked, but
Yeah, but
sure.
maybe we're fools. We were also told that we know how to keep a hold of our keys.
Okay, you try the French doors, hopefully, and they rattle pointlessly because they are, in fact, locked.
All right. Is our partner one of those people who would put a key
In a pot?
inside a pot?
Let's look at the plot.
I say we
Let's
look at
the pot.
these pots.
Pot plants.
There are an assortment of different plants in plant pots arranged around on the patio. Every pot is a different shape, size, and colour, having been collected over the years from various gifts and garden centres. Some contain flowering plants, such as bulbs, which are understandably looking empty at this time of the year, whereas others contain herbs and spices for the kitchen. You count the pots, and there are 12 in total, each one a different colour. And I do have a picture to send you of what that looks like. Now, the plants in the pots look very normal. In fact, there's nothing out of the ordinary about them at all, except for one thing. All of the pots have those little sticks that gardeners use to label plants in them, which would be normal, except that these labels don't have words on them. They all have coloured stripes. And the one in the yellow pot also has some numbers written on the back.
All right. Just for people at home, you can see these two images. We're looking at the patio and the flower pot labels. Danny, let's have a look at this patio first. Before we look closer at the labels on them, let's have a think about what's going on. We've got a checkerboard pattern.
Yeah, okay, so this patio is not just a uniform sort of thing.
No, it is black and white tiles, squares.
Yep. I see
which-
the hose,
Oh, it
which
feels
is running
so...
alongside
Yeah,
it.
the entire left border is the hose. And then there's, like, on the top row, so it's a what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
down.
rows.
It's not a full
So 6
chessboard,
down, 8
but
across.
almost.
And like on the first row, columns 2, 3, 4 are a bench, whereas the final column is a light brown, like a
Orangey?
brown.
Okay.
Pot.
Definitely orange, but sure.
You think that's orange?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, it is. Sorry, I got to a proper angle. It's orange. When you look at it straight on, that's orange.
we've got just this variety of 12 pots. They're not in a single row or anything. They are on various squares
Yeah.
of this chessboard all around.
So like the next row has yellow first and grey in like a dark grey last. The next row has a lilac in the
teal,
third,
and
a
red.
blue in the fourth, a browny red at number 7. The row below, brown first, white at number 7. Then the next row, grey first, nothing else. The final row, there's a green in spot 5, a pink in spot 8.
But
There's just
right now, can't get anything
rumbled
out of
around.
this, just positions and colours that we
I
should
could
be aware
imagine
of.
that if you're like, oh, go from yellow to green and then to white, and you will find you'll have a knight. And it's like, oh, that's L, because we've drawn a big L and we have a knight. L.
Not impossible.
You know,
I
that kind of a
suppose.
puzzle.
Sure.
Should we have a look at the flower pot labels?
I think
maybe they'll be
so.
helpful. Maybe what's written on them is go from yellow to green to white.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's a lot
Ooh.
going on here. We can see actual, like, proper detail of every single one of these plants.
It's got big golden idol energy. I don't know why, but it's got big golden idol
I
energy.
think the sticks definitely do.
Some of the sticks. Okay, so we have a bunch of these different plant pots. Now, which pot is which, I am not sure.
It's true. They're all different sizes, shapes, and colours. And these posts have
They've got
multiple
each stick,
coloured swatches
So,
on them.
for example, the top left one here we have is like this orange. That's probably the top right orangey one, right? Or no, it's probably one of the browns. That's probably a brown pot.
Yes, there's a much more orange one.
Yeah, because there is a much more orange one. So this will be the brown
Okay,
that's in the
yep.
first column.
Mhm.
They all have 3 coloured squares. So the brown pot, which has no plant inside it, by the way, it's an unflowering sad plant, has like teal on top, or like green on top, then blue, then red. Could we perhaps connect that pot to those colours of pots and see if it like draws anything?
We could try,
Like-
but there'd be some There'd be multiple ways of doing that, I'd think.
If we go in order, just like from this to green, then from green to blue, then
brown,
from blue.
light green, light blue, red, and see what happens.
Yeah, so here to there.
Which one's light blue?
Oh, yeah, good point. I don't know what the blue... It could just be blue in general.
It could be.
No, I see dark
blue as well.
Huh. Is it the one... Is it that lilac-y one next to it? Is that...
Could be.
No, that lilac-y one is here.
Okay, then is it the other? Is it that one?
Isn't that just grey?
Oh, no.
I don't think there is a light blue plant pot.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we've got a lot of these. This would be a lot to try to cover when we're not
Let's hold
sure.
this for later.
Did we say that on the yellow plants one there are also some numbers?
Yeah.
I did, yeah. So those numbers are 8, 9, 14, 15, 19, 22, 26, 30, 36, 43, 47, 48, 49, 55.
Oh my gosh, that's so many. Hold on. 8, 9, 14, 15, 19, 22, 26, 30, 36, 43, 47, 48, 49, 55.
Well, that very quickly unraveled from being an alphabet cipher.
Yes, we do very much go over 26.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 numbers. Damn it.
We go up 1, then we go up 5, then we go up 1, then we go up 4, then we go up 3, then we go up 4, and then we go up 4, and then we go up 6, and then we go up
7,
4, and then
1,
go up 4,
1,
and then 1,
6.
then 1, and then 6. It's obvious.
Yep.
It's not
I
obvious.
think we don't even really need to.
Let's just keep moving around. Let's come back to these puzzles when we have solutions.
Yeah, we need to look at stuff clearly.
We don't know where we need to input solutions yet. So the puzzles, who knows? So let's just keep moseying around.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you want to look at something else? Is the bench of any note here? If we look at the bench on the patio?
Yeah, so on the patio sits a wooden bench. It was a Christmas gift from your partner a few years ago because they know how much you like to sit in the garden and read. On the back of the bench, there is an inscription carved into the wood. It, like the rest of the bench, is covered in frost, so it's hard to read exactly what it says, but you remember it being something sentimental.
Can we use our frost scraper to scrape off
Does that work?
the frost and read it better?
You can. You use the ice scraper you had been using to clear off the car windscreen to clear the frost away from the inscription on the bench. Now you can clearly see the words carved into the wood and picked out with a golden yellow paint. You read what it says. May our sincere true love witness a life of hope, dreams and laughter, just as you remember. Sentimental, but sweet. And I do have a picture of that so that you don't have to write it all down.
Oh, great, because I was going to write it all down. Now, that's yellow. Does that have 55 letters in it?
Interesting.
Are we indexing?
Look, it's not impossible.
That's going to be the real question.
I don't think it had 55 words. 55 words is quite a lot.
Let's count it up. 55 letters. 3, 6, 6, 13, 17,
21,
28,
29, 33, 35. Oh my god. 39, 45, 48, 56.
56. Let's do it. Let's sequence the number. It's yellow. It's written in yellow. She said the word yellow. That's important. Why would you say yellow? No one's ever said yellow when it hasn't been important for a puzzle.
All right.
So, letter 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I. Letter 9. In. Letter 14.
T.
T. Letter 15. R. Letter 19.
Wait.
O.
Maybe I've gotten lost. And then plus 3.
15,
W.
19. 2 W.
And then 4 after that. E.
6 E.
4 after that.
2
L. This is looking good. Then 6 after that.
1, 2, 3, 4,
H.
5, 6.
7 after that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A.
4 after that.
N.
1 after that.
D.
1 after that.
L.
And then 6 after that. E. That spelled something.
Well, it says intro.
Really? Okay,
What?
I put
Am I crazy?
I put the gaps in very well.
I was going to say it's intro well handle, but with one L. That doesn't mean anything.
This is a persistent problem for you, Billy.
What do you mean? When have I ever had this problem before? I feel you didn't give me time to solve it. In trowel handle. It's because there's a gap after the O, a gap of my own creation. Intro well handle, or as some fools would say,
I saw in and I
handle.
went, great, this is telling us that
So
something
did I.
is in
so
something.
did I, but then I saw intro and I went, well, there you go. And then I saw WEL and I thought, oh, this message is going to say intro welcome? That's weird.
This has very big Uncle Og vibes.
Thank you.
I disagree. You've got Uncle Og vibes. You've all got Uncle Og vibes. All right, so where were we? Intro well handle?
Yes.
So we need to find a trowel. Have we seen a trowel anywhere?
I mean, we know that there's a shed. That
There's
feels
a
pretty
shed.
plausible.
Let's
But
go to a...
hang on. There are so many things on our way to a shed.
Hey, Danny, what are the chances you would have looked at that bench?
Reasonable.
What are the chances
There's
you would
a
have
bench
scraped
there.
off that message?
That might have taken a while longer.
So I'm doing all the work, and then as soon as I stumble, you pounce. And I don't like it. I don't like this hyena-style puzzle solving.
I want to look at the hose.
Let's look at the hose.
The long green hose pipe runs from the tap on the back of the house to the flower bed. On the end by the flower bed, there's a spray nozzle. Nothing happens when you pull the spray's trigger. When you look at the length of the hose, you notice that there are black lines or rings down the length of it. The marks seem to be at irregular intervals.
Well, I'm not going to be able to interpret that.
No. Can we turn on the tap and see if water comes out that way?
You try turning on the tap, but nothing comes out of the hose. That's not surprising given the weather. The water's probably frozen in the pipes. You suspect this hose isn't going to be watering anything today.
Okay.
cold weather.
More problems that I've never had to deal with, but I suppose that makes sense.
Very British
All right.
problems.
Since we followed it all the way to the end, we might as well look at this flower bed.
No, don't you hear? I went back to where the tap is. So
Yeah, but
we're not at the flower bed at all.
you didn't go back and turn the water on, then go back to the end of the hose and
You
hold it up to your
can
eye.
hear the water. All right, let's check out the flower bed.
So the flower bed is just an empty flower bed. There doesn't seem to be anything interesting in there at the moment. You're sure it's going to look lovely in the summer, though?
Is it? Shall we take a look at some of the other stuff, or should we go to the shed? Of course, the trowel might be in the greenhouse as well. That's also very plausible.
Let's start with the shed.
Okay.
Okay, the wooden shed sits at the end of the garden. The strong, sturdy door has a strong, sturdy padlock on it, the sort that needs a key to open it. The usual key you'd use is hanging up in the kitchen, but there could be a spare. Maybe you can find it in the garden somewhere.
Okay, now let's check the greenhouse.
The greenhouse is, surprisingly, unlocked. The door slides easily aside, allowing you access. There isn't anything growing in here at the moment because it's the winter, but there are a few items on the workbench. There's a large container of birdseed, which sits beside a notepad at one end of the bench, and at the other, a wooden gardener's trug sits.
What's a truck?
What the heck is a trug?
I wondered if this was going to be regional. It's like
it might just be
like a
garden.
basket thing, like a wooden
I think
basket.
I can picture it. Oh yeah, it's a basket.
Okay.
Imagine a
what I would
basket. That's everything
What I
you
would
need
call
to
it
know.
is a basket. Look at these little trugs. Simple
Okay.
trug.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like I've seen happy-looking women in not period pieces, but slightly modern period pieces, just happily walking
Yeah,
with those.
it's very much 50s woman in garden carrying basket with stuff in it. That's gonna be a
Exactly.
trug.
Sussex
I
trug.
Yeah, they're called a
A
Sussex, trug.
is a wooden basket.
We are going to need this for our cryptic crosswords.
Oh yeah, someone's going to give us the clue basket, and they're going to expect us to put trug, and we'll be freaked out. But now we'll be prepared.
Now you'll know. Everyone will know. Trug awareness.
Exciting. All right. I am afraid of birdseed with a piece of paper next to it.
Yeah, let's look at the trug.
So you take a closer look at the trug. Inside the trug is some gardening tools. We've got a gardening trowel, a small fork, and a pair of gardening gloves. Nothing in particular
Well-
jumps out at you about them. They just look like gardening tools.
Nothing to see
I
here.
don't know. A fork sounds pretty good right about now.
Can I have a look in the trowel handle?
You can indeed. You inspect the trowel more closely and discover that you can indeed unscrew the handle. A couple of twists, and the wooden handle unscrews neatly from the metal top, revealing something stuck to the tang of the trowel. It's a magnet with a little bird drawn on the end in a black Sharpie pen.
Okay, I have a bird magnet.
Can I put on those gardening gloves? We complained about our hands being cold before.
That is, we got to solve that problem. We had sore hands.
You can. You put on the gardening gloves. Your hands are amazingly warm, if not slightly soily.
Perfect.
I can handle that.
And take the fork for good measure.
Apparently I cannot draw gloves, though. What have I done?
Oh, what have you done? Sorry, did you say that the trug had a couple of udders in it? Was it an udder trug? Was it full of little cow udders? Because that's what Danny's drawn. You
And
udder
even then,
trug.
they're not healthy cows.
Oh dear.
Okay. We have a bird magnet.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm assuming on closer inspection, it's nothing more. It is a magnet with a picture of a bird. We shouldn't look at this picture of a bird to find out bird facts.
No, it's the kind of magnet that you can imagine you'd buy in a shop, and it just looks like your partner's like drawn a little bird on it with the
Right, so one of the birds has eaten the key. You have to catch it with a magnet to get it out.
Yeah, that's the only way of interpreting this so far.
Let's have a look at the bird seed.
I suppose we have to look at birdseed now.
Okay, a large box of birdseed sits on the bench. It's mostly full. Next to it, there is a notepad. There's a message written there in your partner's handwriting, and that says, "Keep an eye on the bird feeders, especially the most important one." And then underneath that, it says, "Not the hex all large and tan, not the baby of the clan, not the greenest one you see, not the one with paired wings 3.
Okay, not hex.
And not hex or tan?
Not smallest. Is that one of them?
Not the baby of the clan.
Yeah.
Baby.
And then not the greenest one, you said?
Ah.
And I think the only other thing was not the one with paired wings 3. Or was that what it was?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So it's not hex, tan, baby green, 3 pair wing.
All right, I guess we add the box of birdseed to our inventory and...
Yeah, we put the birds in our mouth, carried around.
Yeah.
Shall we check out the bird feeders?
It feels sensible.
Having bird feeders in your garden has made a real difference to the number of birds you visit. You and your partner keep the bird feeders topped up with seed and suet through the winter, as you know that in weather like this, it's hard for them to find much food elsewhere. There are 5 bird feeders in total, all hanging from a wooden bird table where you sometimes put fresh fruit. Currently, there's a shallow dish of water sitting there that you topped up this morning. The bird feeders are plastic ones with clear sides showing the amount of feed contained within and a selection of openings and perches near the bottom. Each one is different. The 5 feeders are: the first one, the smallest feeder, made of green plastic. 2 perches are next to a single opening at the bottom. The second is also made of green plastic. 2 perches are next to 2 openings at the bottom. It has an embossed design on the top of the feeder showing 3 small birds in flight. The third one is a homemade feeder made from a plastic drinks bottle with kebab skewers pushed through the bottle. There are 2 skewers making 4 perches and 4 small holes. The fourth is the widest feeder, which is made of deep blue plastic with a circular tray that goes all the way around the bottom of the feeder. 8 little holes allow the seed to fall into the tray from the main holder. And the last one is the tallest feeder, with 6 holes at different heights and each with its own perch. The plastic lid and the perches are brown.
I'm feeling wildly inexperienced with bird feeders.
All right.
Based on these descriptions.
Let's think. One of them had an embossed design of 3 birds in flight.
Yeah.
That has wing pairs 3.
Oh, yep, that's fair.
So that is not the most important one, and I'm crossing it out.
Okay.
One of them was the smallest.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the baby?
Presumably.
Now, one of them I heard had 6 perches, but is it kind of hexagonal? Not the hex. What was the hex line from the poem?
It says, "Not the hex, all large and tan."
Oh, not the hex, all large and tan.
Oh.
It was brown, and it has 6 perches. So that's the hex, all large and tan.
Okay. And there was one other green one. No, wait.
We've got both greens. The smallest was green.
Yeah. And the one with 3 birds was also green.
Yeah. So we're left with a 4-perch homemade
one.
plastic kebab bottle.
And the blue one.
And the blue one was wide and blue. Can you go through that poem again, line by L, to shorten it down for you?
Certainly.
And we can tick them off as we go.
Not the hex, all large and tan.
That was the large tan one.
Not the baby of the clan.
That was the small one.
Not the greenest one you see. Not the one with paired wings 3.
Is the greenest one the homemade Is it green because it's a reuse? We're recycling. That's greenest.
Fair enough. That's
the greenest one we see. It's the one made out of a leftover bottle and some. I think we need to go to the most important one, the wide and blue. I think the greenest one we see is the repurposed, repackaged.
I could argue that. I could see that.
So the most important one is wide and blue. Can we take a bird magnet and use it on it?
Oh, is that what you want to do?
We have a bird magnet.
We do have a bird magnet. I was considering just sweeping it over all of them, but
that's
fair.
Like this one more.
Okay.
Can we use it specifically on Big Blue Boy?
You take the magnet to the blue wide bird feeder and pass it over the surface. Although it seems to be made entirely of plastic, there is a definite pull of the magnet towards the plastic lid of the bird feeder. You lift the top of the bird feeder off, and you can see that the lid is made of 2 pieces, one inset inside the other. When you move the magnet onto the underside of the lid, you hear a little click, and the inner piece moves out slightly. You dig your nails under the edge, and pop! The little cover comes away and reveals a small silver key.
Ooh.
I think that's a tool shed key.
It very well could be.
It might not be, but let's try it out.
Okay.
The little silver key fits into the padlock. You turn it, and the lock pops open. You open the door and head into the shed. The shed is definitely not a place you're familiar with. This is a room for storing empty plant pots, bags of compost, and surplus gardening tools like the lawnmower and the spade. The space is dimly lit through a window in the roof of the shed and the light streaming through the open door, but it's enough to allow you to see what's going on in here. On the left wall of the shed hangs an awful painting of some boats docked at a pier. You laugh a little as you remember that this was a raffle prize you won a few years ago. You hated it, but your partner loved it, so you mutually agreed that the best place for it would be in here.
Lovely.
Love it. Can we get a closer look at said boat painting? Is it full of clues and puzzles?
The painting is as bad as you remember. The dim light of the shed helps to obscure the worst bits of the composition, but it's still terrible. As you look, you realise that the frame is stood a little way away from the wall, as if something is pushing it outwards.
We break the painting over our knee, and we see what's behind it.
You violently lift the painting off its hook and immediately notice 2 things. Firstly, there is a key safe with a 6-digit combination fixed to the wall behind the painting. Secondly, there is something written on the back of the painting in your partner's handwriting. It says, "The boa loves the salmon, right? It sure knows how to hug it tight."
Boa loves the salmon, right? Sure knows how to hook it tight.
Hug.
Oh, hug it tight. Trug it tight.
Yes.
Okay. That means nothing to me.
We're going from snow to gardening to bird feeders to fishing. These are not my wheelhouses, Sarah. This is making my brain panic.
Oh, yeah. Have we found the key to the wheelhouse yet? Okay. And there's a 6-digit combo to get into the key safe. But I don't know 6 digits. Those flower pots, there's so many of them.
There are 12.
It's 12. If we get half a digit every time.
Yep, that's something.
We'll be rolling in it.
If we can pair some of them up together.
There's other stuff in the shed. Now, I want to dig in the flower garden.
Take the big spade and see if we can do something.
The big spade and dig in the flower garden with it? Just find something?
You can, yeah. You grab the spade and you go and try and dig the spade into the frozen ground, and it's hard work, and you wish you hadn't bothered.
All right, that's fair.
I panic and I return to the front of the house for things that we
never looked at
not have checked.
The welcome mat. Maybe
exactly.
we should look there. Maybe it's got a really important piece of evidence.
Yeah.
You go back out the front of the house. The doormat is fairly plain and standard, just a normal doormat. You lift it up. Underneath is a laminated piece of paper. On one side is a picture of a key. And on the other, the text reads, "Ceci n'est pas une key." Oh, sure, your partner's hilarious. You should have known it wasn't going to be that easy.
Is that just French for there's no key?
Sounds like it. Oh.
Yeah, this is not a key, is what that means. Yeah. It's a reference to a painting by, I've forgotten the guy's name. The painting of the man with the apple with the face.
Oh, okay, Magritte.
Magritte, that's him. Couldn't remember. Yeah, he did another painting with a pipe, and the text underneath says "Ceci n'est pas une pipe." It's not a pipe. Obviously, your partner's an art fan as well.
Maybe the painting's good. It's a Turner. It's beautiful. It's some wonderful ships in a storm. It's a beautiful Turner. Oh, this sucks. This one's
really
bad.
Questionable taste in painting.
You go inside the house and it's just Sonic fan fiction pictures hung up everywhere. All right. Yeah.
All right, look, outside of taking the gardening fork and stabbing our own tires with it, I'm not 100% sure where else to go outside of looking hard at these plants.
Yeah, maybe we have to solve this plant puzzle.
Oh, boy.
So there was extra stuff in the shed. Did any of that cat? There was a shed.
There was a lawnmower. I can't imagine we need to do that right now.
No, I don't need a lawnmower. Yeah.
Do you want to look at the stuff that's in the shed a bit more?
Yeah, maybe? If we can look in general at it, then I'd love to.
Okay, so there's various tools and equipment back here, but none of it looks particularly useful for you for finding the spare house key. There is a small red toolbox on the floor, though. It's locked with a 3-digit code. You lift up the box, and on the base, there's something drawn in black Sharpie. It looks like a house, some letters and numbers, a bunch of lines, and some doodles.
Excellent.
Aha, a clue. All right, for people at home, you can see this toolbox. Oh, it's a grid, it's a grid, it's a grid. Everybody knows it's a grid, it's a grid. Hey, yo, it's a grid. Everybody
glad
look at the grid.
that when we were describing where the potted plants were before, that I didn't try to give them chess coordinates, because my axes would have been the wrong way around, and it would have been much worse.
We have a picture of a house, and then we have below it a grid, an 8x6 grid. Although horizontally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the 8 columns,
and then
going down vertically, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's the whole list. So, for example, that yellow is not wherever the hell we said it was before. It is in B1.
Or 1B even.
B1. Let's be clear.
Right.
And then below it, there is a cat, there is a clock, and there is a muffin. Or a cupcake, if you like.
Definitely a cupcake. Muffins don't have a single thing on top.
Neither do cupcakes.
What do you mean?
That's a cat, that's a clock, that's a cupcake.
It's muffin time.
You just said it was a cupcake.
I do not know how to interpret cat clock cake.
So now we have an extra additional specific reference. So yellow is B1. Yep. Yellow is also a potted plant that has green, browny, orange, and red on it, which links it to, doesn't make anything interesting that I can see.
Fascinating. We've also got, if you go back to the picture of the coloured pot plants, the other one.
Oh, the one with all the sticks, yeah?
Exactly. Take a look at the top middle one. It's got a light green pot, but one of its colours
is light green, the colour of its own pot. Interesting. Green, orange, light green.
And we've got a pink pot, but none of these have pink stripes on their sticks.
Oh, what does this mean?
What was that salmon clue again?
The boa loves the salmon, right? Sure knows how to trug it and try it.
Now, when you say boa, how are you spelling that?
I spelled it B-O-A.
Was it a B-O-A?
It is a B-O-A, yeah.
Yeah, like a boa.
That would hug. That checks out.
Constrictor.
Have we seen anything conceivably salmon related?
Why does it say... Okay, it's a 3-digit code.
Mm.
And we have these 3 pictures at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Cat, clock, cupcake.
Mm.
What does that mean?
It's a good question.
Which of these is cat?
I was now just... my thoughts were wandering to, if it's a snake like boa, you know what's a snake? A garden hose. Do we have to strangle anything?
Oh, no. Yeah, we haven't used that hose, have we?
No, exactly.
It's just a hose. Can we wrap up a salmon
Unless by salmon, it's the pink-coloured pot.
We wrap the hose around the pink-coloured pot.
You pull the hose over towards the pink plant pot, but it doesn't quite reach. Going back to the tap, you try to unscrew the connector, but it's too tight. You're not going to be able to do it by hand.
Did we, in that list of things, find a tool that could, like a wrench?
It's probably in a toolbox.
Oh, you're right. It probably is.
Okay, so we've got to do this to get our toolbox open, and then we can worry about our choking salmon.
We have no idea what these pictures on the sticks of the plants of the court of King Karaticus mean. And we don't know then how that relates to the pot's positioning in the patio. And we don't know how that relates to this. I mean, that obviously the grid relates straight to it. And we don't know what's the significance of cat, clock, cupcake.
Yeah, this is so interesting.
What does this mean? People playing at home, you can see these images. Have you solved this yet? Because I haven't. White pot has no plant in it. Only some of them have plants that are actually in them. Some of them are
Yeah, 4 of them
plantless.
aren't doing so well.
Is one of these plants catnip? Is one of these plants clocknip?
Oh, I see. We were told.
Oh, were we?
We were told that a lot of them were spices and things, so maybe one of them is thyme.
Thyme is a spice. And
What's muffin?
Cinnamon? Sugar?
What?
Cupcake spice? Can we identify? Do we have the culinary know-how to identify these plants by taste, by touch, by feel?
No, you don't really know anything about them other than your partner uses them in the kitchen sometimes, and then some of them are like garden plants. Gardening is really not your area of
I'll say.
I like the idea that one of them could be thyme. And one of them could be catnip.
What are we missing with this bad boy?
Yeah, every pot has 3 colours. And those 3 colours match other pots, sort of. Is there a red pot? Say, in the top right, where the yellow plant pot is, the bottom symbol on it is red, probably matches to the kind of in the bottom left, but one up from the corner.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Huh.
But what about dark green?
I would say don't worry too much about those colours. I think you're inventing a puzzle that doesn't exist.
The colours have to mean something, right?
Yeah, but you'll know when you need to know what the colours mean. This sounds like a lovely puzzle, but I didn't write it, so I don't want you to flounder on that too long.
I am fascinated by how much, so far, been clicking with them. Our minds have gone to exactly where these puzzles are supposed to go. This one is getting me.
I mean, that has thrown me for a loop, because if the sticks with the colours don't matter, then I don't know what we're doing with that image at all, because well,
it sounds like it's just we might not know what to do with them yet.
But there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, I really feel like we're supposed to be here, but now I'm afraid.
There's nothing else to look at that we haven't dealt with, I don't think. There's nothing else in the greenhouse that was relevant. There was just the seed and the trug. We've done the bird feeder stuff. We've gone into the shed. I don't think there was anything else in the shed that was relevant in that pile of extra stuff.
I think we want to mow the lawn.
I think the important thing is that we found this toolbox. The 3-digit code leads us back to the grid. Let's ignore the pot labels. Let's get rid of them.
Okay.
They're apparently throwing us off. We just have a grid. And cat, clock, cupcake.
Cat, clock, cupcake.
There's just 3. Now, in the context of this grid, we now know how to assign them numbers and letters. And we know cat, clock, cupcake. Or cat, time,
cupcake.
Dessert.
What do cats and clocks have in common?
The letter C.
That's true.
They all start with the letter C.
They can. A cat does have 3 letters. It could be a C3. And then a clock could be a C5 and a cupcake a C8.
I don't hate that.
Or to some
C3
extent like that.
Could be, it's not going to be T4. It's going to be C5. And it's going to be C8.
Oh, 7, sorry.
7? Cupcake. Can we check those tiles? C3, C5, and C7?
Let's say you start with the 3C, the purple one. You move the purple plant pot, and underneath that is a slab marked with smudges of paint. And you have a picture.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Makes
Progress! Oh, okay. Yeah, so we do indeed just have smudges of paint, but they are distinctly in colours that match some of what we've seen on those sticks. We've got the lilac, we've got the deep green, light blue, orange, red.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Shall we check out the C5?
Well, C5 doesn't have a pot on it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Is there anything about C5 as a tile?
No, it's just a slab.
Okay.
Okay, let's ignore. Do all of the pots have colours underneath them? Can we start moving pots?
Yes, some of the pots have coloured paint splodges underneath them. Some of them don't.
But this one that we found is an important.
Well, what about
splodge.
C7 for cupcake? Does that have something underneath it?
No, that one's got nothing underneath it.
5 that match the colour of the thing that was on top of it.
Well, we've got like 1 orange, 2 reds, 3 blues, 4 greens, 5 lilacs.
Yeah.
So we've got a potential order there.
Oh, orange pot plant first, and which gets us 3 colours, and then the red one that gets us 3 more colours, and then the blue one that gets us 3 more colours, and then the green one that gets us 3 more colours.
Now is definitely a good time to be thinking about the sticks.
Yep.
So we have orange, red, blue, green, lilac, where orange is blue, blue, red, and red is green, blue, red, and blue is lilac, red, grey, and green is green, orange, other green, and lilac is blue.
Yeah, see, I was looking at doing something like, I don't know, maybe we count how many times the orange appears and that's a first digit. But if we did that, that would get us 5 digits. We don't want 5 digits. We want either 3 digits or 6 digits.
And this is still only built on C3, or 3 things that start with C, perhaps. C3.
That's true too.
Okay, that's fine then.
So there was 1 splotch of orange, so I'm going to focus on orange.
Yeah, and the orange pot is a plant. It has a plant growing in it.
We do have an orange pot.
It has a stick that is blue, dark blue, light blue, and red. It definitely feels like a sequence of splotches on this slab.
Yes.
Because there's 1 orange, 2 red, 3 blues.
Yes.
4 greens, and 5 lilac.
100%. That's where I am sitting.
So that feels like an order. Those pots each have a stick in them. But what is so we order the sticks, but that just gets us 3 times as many colours. And still no way to interpret them as being anything other than just a series of colours.
Yeah, we don't really want 15 new inputs either.
You've got a lot of colours, and really you just want 3 things because you want 3 numbers. Yeah. If only there was a way to decide which 3 things you wanted for the plant pot you have.
Oh, as in, which one was in C3?
The lilac plant pot.
Interesting. So maybe we should be paying more attention to that one?
Yeah, it's got blue, and it's got red, and it's got green.
Oh, so...
we've just organised a number for each of these.
Yeah,
and then
we know that blue was 3.
So we have a code on that stick that is 3...
3, 2,
2, and 4.
That works. That makes sense.
Makes sense. Can we try 3, 2, 4 on the toolbox code?
You can. So you put the code 324 into the toolbox and it opens. Inside, there's a range of tools. You've got some screwdrivers, a pair of pliers, a ruler, some spare screws, and a spanner.
Spanner, hose. Hose off. Hose on, pink.
Hose
pot.
out. Words happen.
Spanner, tap, hose off. Hose round, pink.
Hose already off. What do you mean?
Hose off.
Out.
Hose
Detach.
out. Hose off. Detach hose.
That's 2 syllables. That doesn't work
Wrap
for us.
hose. Hug hose.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you use the spanner on the hose
twist, hose
tap.
pull.
use spanner on tap and tap unscrew. So now the hose is disconnected. You drag the hose over to the plant pots and carefully wrap it tightly around the salmon pink pot. Thankfully, this one didn't have any large herbs or spices growing in it. To start with, you don't know what you're looking for, but as you continue to wrap the hose up the pot, you can see that those black rings you spotted earlier are lining up with one another. You complete the wrapping and you can see that the hose lines have created the numbers 865625.
We had a 6-digit code. It was somewhere.
It was the key safe.
The key safe. 865625.
You type the digits 865625 into the key safe and the door pops open. Inside, you see the spare front door key. Relief floods through you as you dash back out of the shed, through the garden gate, up to your front door. The key fits perfectly, and within moments, you are inside the house, grabbing your spare car keys and unlocking the car, delighted to be able to switch off the engine and retrieve your bag. You'll never leave your bag on the passenger seat while you defrost the car ever again. You're rather late for work, sure, but on the plus side, your car is definitely fully defrosted now, and you're going to have the best stories to tell everyone when you arrive. Congratulations, you did it!
We did it!
Beautiful.
And then we get a divorce. Puzzles in my house! Just put the key under the mat! All right.
If you just paid attention to his stupid boat stories.
Thanks for listening to Escape This Podcast. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we discuss the escape room we just did with the guest we just had. This podcast is kept afloat by crowdfunding, so if you enjoy the show, why not support it on Patreon? There's weekly bonus audio for our $5 donors, monthly videos for our $10 donors, monthly trivia for our $20 donors, and anyone at any level can appear as an NPC in one of the rooms that Danny designs. And thanks again for listening.